My name is Liberty Worth, and I'm recording this September 2024. I'm an artist and educator living in Southern California, in Los Angeles specifically. I think growing up in a multicultural city exposed me early to the beauty of diverse voices and stories. My family also placed a high value on travel and experiences, more so than we did on belongings, and from a young age, I was exposed to international travel and the beauty that was found in learning about the stories of others. Our family business was toy design, so I grew up with an understanding that art and design were a part of life and that creativity was a legitimate career choice. When I look at my artistic journey, the biggest influences that I have had were the early introduction to design by my dad, and then the professors I had who taught me art in college. I spent time at Pepperdine University in California, and through there, I went to an international program in Florence, Italy, where I learned about fiber art and textile design. Those two really became my career and passion, and these days I find myself most influenced by the work of Ellen Etsui and the way he takes trash and creates giant textile-like pieces from what was once considered waste. Right now, I'm really interested in the idea of repurposing textile waste. I was first introduced to the concept of textile waste as a problem when I was a young textile designer professionally about 25 years ago, but these days the problem is worse than ever. I'm working almost exclusively in repurposed and rescued textiles these days. I find use for fabrics that are left over from other projects or from manufacturing and design companies that approach me when they don't want to throw things away. I think there are a lot of challenges to being an artist. Money is the one that we all talk about. So I teach to help costs in that area, paying for my studio and such. But the bigger problem for me is the existential part of it. Sometimes I feel like I'm making all this art, pouring my heart into this work because I feel compelled to do it. And then I wonder, is it all worth it? Then again, I find it easy to tell other artists that the world needs their work. So sometimes it's just hard to remember that for myself. If I were going to give advice to my younger self, I would tell myself not to get mired down in insecurity. Everybody has to face imposter syndrome head on. You have a right to be here. You have permission to try things, even if they're weird or scary. Also, you're going to need to learn how to hustle. Take all the business courses for artists that you can find and never be afraid to share generously with others. Creativity is not in scarcity. There is enough to go around. I spent many years learning how to quilt. It's actually a hard skill to learn. And then I had to learn how to unquilt to break the rules that I had learned. And I found my breakthrough when I stopped trying to fall in the lines of conventional sewing and quilting. These days, I find myself more interested in the scraps that are on the floor. And now that I separate them into color groupings and little color buckets, I feel like I'm painting again, only I'm using my sewing machine. I'm not necessarily following any traditional rules. I don't even think I could apply to quilt shows anymore with most of my work because it falls outside of the parameters of what a quilt is. When I'm working, I most often listen to audiobooks. I do like music, and I also do like silence, but there is a calm that comes over me with the quiet of just one voice in my headphones as I work. Because I work in textiles and many times people have deep connections to textiles, I've actually had a number of people have tears rolling down their faces when they see my work. Specifically, it was a commission from their treasured textile pieces. That's something that's a huge honor to work with, and I love that my work ends up occupying a place in people's hearts and history. I hope that when people experience my work, that they feel like they can take a moment to pause and remember the small beauties we have. I'm working in this truly physical medium of mending, and there's something deeply tangible and comforting to people when they see something that's soft and inviting. I'm actually hoping that they walk away from my work feeling like they saw something unexpected and beautiful, where they may have not anticipated finding it.